What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos in the building, and welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table, hosted by Wrestling Republic. Well, damn. WWE actually have the power to actually pull it off. Crown Jewel has been and gone 24 hours ago, and yeah, we gotta delve right into it, man. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about all the matches, of course, giving an overall review, rating of the show as well. Also, we're gonna be talking about when the next Crown Jewel pay-per-view is gonna be. Gonna be nice, short and sweet, but we're gonna get right into it. Without further ado, let's take it to the table. All right, so Crown Jewel 2021, hosted in Saudi Arabia. We all know about the show and the controversies and whatnot, and the current streak of the quality of that pay-per-view has been. So a lot of people, I must say, I definitely went in with no high expectations. A lot of people, especially my friends like Rides, Mr. Rhymes, we all went in just thinking it was just gonna be this absolute dud. They were gonna do some ignoramus stuff, but this was, from the get-go, I'll just say it was solid, more than solid. What you would definitely get from a normal WWE pay-per-view. There was talk about them trying to make these pay-per-views matter more. Obviously build up the card and to almost like a WrestleMania type of card, and make them feel more worthy and not just some glorified house show. And I must say, dare I say, they definitely lived up to those expectations. This is definitely by far the best Saudi Arabia show to date. No one can argue about that. No one can question that. Definitely one of their strongest. There's nothing more else I can say, really. Let's just quickly dive into all the individual matches. First off, it started with the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Seth Rollins, and wow, where that is crazy. I mean, if it was any two people that could make a match matter and put the quality into it, it would be those two, 110%. You could tell they weren't phoning it in. They pulled out all the stops. This is definitely probably the best Hell in a Cell match this year. There was fear that they were really playing this out in terms of the Hell in a Cell stipulation, because we just recently had the pay-per-view. They had Hell in a Cell matches on both SmackDown and Raw. So we had quite a lot of Hell in a Cell matches in this year alone. But this one definitely, to my memory, this is the most memorable one, definitely out of the matches, and definitely one of the best matches from WWE by far in this year. Very, very solid, back and forth. The bump that Seth took when he was on the turnbuckle and then Edge shoved him off, he bounced off the cage into a table. That was beautiful, freaking beautiful. Obviously it was fine. Gotta put that in there. And then there was little moment where obviously Edge did his trademark. This is pretty much his trademark now. Where he gets the chair, takes off the little bar. He was trying to use it. I think he had him in. I think Edge had Seth Rollins in like a crossface type of thing. Seth picked up that piece and then just stabbed him in his eye. It was fucking crazy. Obviously it was gimmicked, but still. All in all, great match. Ended with Edge getting the win with a curb stomp off the stair of a steel chair. A bit botched. He kind of slipped off Seth Rollins' head at the end, but it was good. Decent camera work kind of saved it, so it was fine. So yeah, definitely one of a great strong start to the pay-per-view to make it really feel like they weren't phoning it in, and it was just, they put their all into it. So definitely a strong start. Next up, it was Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor. This one is obviously they end up being a tag team. Mansoor was too goody and Mustafa Ali was trying to obviously teach him the ways to always, you gotta be selfish, you gotta, have some edginess to you. He's the week prior on Raw, he definitely showed that kind of intensity to Mustafa, and Mustafa was kind of taken back to it. But yeah, Mansoor against Mustafa Ali, average match, something you would see on Raw, to be honest. It was okay. Mansoor got the win, so he's still undefeated in Saudi Arabia. But at the end, Mustafa Ali attacked him. He attacked Mansoor, beat him down afterwards, which I was quite disappointed in. I was hoping that, this was some weird type of lesson that Mustafa Ali was trying to teach Mansoor. So he was going to say, like, you know what, I was wrong, my bad. Let bygones be bygones. Now I can take you under my wing, this kind of thing, and then we can use this intensity or this different type of this different version of you, taking us into the tag team division. But no, it wasn't meant to be. Mustafa Ali was being a dick, and then all of a sudden this random generic music started playing, and then you see Default B from SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, if you know what I'm talking about, when you get them hidden characters. He was walking down the ramp. No one knew who that was. Even the crowd was just like, huh? And then it actually ended up being this silver gold medalist from the Olympics. His name was, let me just check his name, Tarek Hamidi. Apologies if I butchered your name. But yeah, he came down to the ring. He was obviously wrapped up in the scarf, and then he eventually unveiled it to be him. Got a huge pop, but from the crowd, and then he basically kicked Ali in the head, knocked him clean out. And then Mansoor and Hamidi celebrated on the ramp, went to the back. So that was that. And then after that match, it was the Arcade Bros versus AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This was okay. I was kind of torn as to who would win. I just know that whenever Arcade Bro does lose the title, Randy was most likely gonna just turn on Riddle, most likely. So this could have easily have happened. Now that AJ and Omos has lost, I'm kind of hoping that this will be finally the end of that tag team. I'm starting to miss AJ Styles being a singles competitor challenging for the world title. It was okay. It was all right. At the end, they ended up with Randy Orton RKOing AJ Styles after he was trying to go for the phenomenal forearm, and then he tagged in Riddle, and then he did the floating bro thing off the top rope. 1, 2, 3, and Arcade Bro have retained their tag team titles. Nothing happened at the end where there was any tension between Omos and AJ. It just ended that was it. So moving on was the Doudrop against Selena Vega for the Queen's Crown final. This one, it was okay. It was an actual wrestling match. I was expecting maybe like a quick squash or something. They weren't going to give 2 women's matches a lengthy amount of time, to be honest. And yeah, this one obviously was quite short, but it was fine. And shockingly, Selena Vega won. She is the official queen of the ring, basically. She's the Queen's Crown champion. I was kind of banking on Doudrop to win, because I thought usually when it comes to if they were going to have a male and a female one, one's going to have a jokey character and then another one's going to be more of a serious person. And I was kind of banking on they were going to give Doudrop the Queen's Crown title as a jokey thing, and then have someone serious winning the King of the Ring, which we'll get into as well. But yeah, in the end, Vega won with her Code Red finisher, and that is it. And then she had to go up to the ramp, sit in the throne, and then have this sheet. It was so awkward. Why couldn't they give them an actual robe? It was just this little sheet, and they just kept on sliding off, and it just looked awkward as hell. It was really weird. But anyway, yeah, that was that. Then next up, it was Goldberg against Bobby Lashley in a no-holds-barred Falls Count Anywhere match. Now, that added little stipulation at the end that got added during the kickoff show. So it was meant to be a no-holds-barred, and then they added the Falls Count Anywhere stipulation during them. And then hence why what we're going to get into at the end of the finish of the match. It was good. Yeah, it was good output from both of them. I was banking on Goldberg to win. Goldberg was definitely going to win. He has to, obviously, the good guy has to win and avenge his son getting choked the F out by Bobby Lashley. So it was, he kind of, even though it was kind of weird him threatening to kill Bobby Lashley, especially in the location that you're in, but I digress. But yeah, other than that, Lashley mainly dominated the match. He was, targeting Goldberg's injured leg back when he messed it up from SummerSlam. But then Goldberg came out, did the spear, did the jackhammer, but he didn't go for the pin. Everyone was wondering what was going on. He wanted to obviously deliver more punishment. He speared Lashley through the barricade outside. There was obviously some, I think he was trying to bash his head with the steel steps. He missed, obviously. Then he went up to the ramps. And then Lashley called out the Hurt Business, Cedric and Shelton Benjamin. They all got taken out by Goldberg. And then all in all, randomly, I did not expect this. So basically, Goldberg basically speared Lashley from the ramp all the way down to the little lower floor. Well, basically padding. Took out Lashley 1, 2, 3. Pretty much, I wouldn't say he's overall salvaged his reputation in the Saudi Arabia shows. Because even when he did that jackhammer, I was just like, when he was signaling for it, I was shouting, no, don't fucking do it. But yeah, it was definitely his best match to date, 110%, in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, that was it. So definitely a strong match. It was enjoyable, definitely enjoyable, 110%. Next match was the King of the Ring finals between Xavier Woods and Finn Balor. And I was totally expecting Demon Finn Balor to come out for this. 110%. I was expecting Xavier Woods to come out, then it was Demon. That was the only way he was going to win. Makes sense because he's called the Prince. Upgrade him up to King, all that kind of stuff. But I know that Xavier Woods has been campaigning a lot to become King of the Ring, or at least participate in it. And not only did he participate, he freaking won the whole thing. So I'm happy for him, 110% happy for him. I did always wonder, now that obviously Kofi Kingston's won the big one, Big E's won the big one, I always did fear that they weren't going to give anything to Xavier Woods, because I know currently right now I can't imagine him being given the belt. But not many people have been clamoring for Xavier Woods to become WWE champion. Kofi Kingston, obviously, that was well overdue, 110%. Big E was the next one coming up. There's been talk about him about becoming champion for about over 2 years now, but not really many people have been saying Xavier Woods. It would make total sense for having all of them become WWE champion one day. They've done it with the Shield, but yeah, right now currently, I think if they weren't ever going to give him the title, this is a good accolade to have for Xavier Woods becoming King of the Ring. If this is the ceiling for him, then fair enough. I hope not. I would love to see him become champion, let them all have championship reigns, 110%. But just currently in the role that he's in now, and how they have been placing him throughout the New Day, the New Day tenure. I can't really imagine them putting the title on him, but who knows? They might put him in something next year, or maybe 2 years from now, to see where and then people will say yes, he's the next one up, kind of thing. But yeah, happy for Xavier Woods. He also had the wardrobe malfunction of the little silk sheet. He couldn't put it on properly, and he just got tired of it. He was just like, screw it, and he just started posing. But yeah, really happy for Xavier Woods winning the King of the Ring tournament. The next up, it was Big E versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. This was good. This was really good. Good back and forth. Big E was hitting McIntyre with belly to belly suplexes. Did the Brock Lock, also known as the stretch muffler, on Drew McIntyre. And then there was a dirty finish. I remember there was one point where when Big E does his diving outside when the opponent's on the ropes. He was setting that up. Drew McIntyre was on the ropes. Big E was doing the run up to do the little diving spear through the ropes. McIntyre said, spun that, came in and clayboard the hell off Big E's head, man. It was crazy. I was just like, nah. They're actually gonna give them the title back to McIntyre. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. But Big E actually kicked out. And then eventually they reversed it. They were doing the Holy Pool reversals, and then there was a nice little reversal to the big ending. Big E landed it. 1, 2, 3. Big E retains the WWE Championship. Very good match. Definitely was a good marker or another notch on his title reign. And he put in a good match in that as well. So yeah, happy for Big E to retain. Like I said, I knew he was going to retain because Drew McIntyre is going to SmackDown. And again, as much as it could have been a 5-star match, but you would have to take a star off, knowing, because, well, for me, that's what I would do, because you know the outcome. There's no high stakes because Drew McIntyre is going to SmackDown. If they did the draft after this pay-per-view, it'll be fine. But yeah. So yeah, happy for McIntyre to go to SmackDown as well. Nice fresh set of faces. I'm hoping he might do a little heel run again, because I do miss McIntyre as a heel. But yeah, let's hope that he ditches all this kilt stuff and the sword, and talking about the Loch Ness monster and giving out quotes about Churchill. I'm over that. Please keep that away from SmackDown, please, McIntyre, please. But yeah, other than that, that was great. And then it was the co-main event, which was the triple threat women's title match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and it was between Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks. Boy, did they put on a match. I mean, those are 3 of the best workers in WWE, of course, but they had no right to put on such a great match. Same as with Seth Rollins against Edge. They had no right to put on a 5-star match. So yeah, that Saudi Arabia crowd, I should say, they definitely got their money's worth. They should be really grateful for the quality of matches that they got. And this one was, just absolutely 5-star. Very, very good back and forth. Great reversals. I don't think there was any botches. Not really. There was teases of Belair hitting the KODs. There was a double submission as well, where there was the backstabber plus the disarmer from Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, respectively. And yeah, it was crazy. Lynch hit the manhandle slam on Belair, and then almost pinned Bianca. And then but yeah, it was crazy. All in all, Belair hit the KOD on Becky Lynch and Banks, and then threw Belair out of the ring. Banks threw Belair out of the ring, and then who was unfortunately caught by Becky Lynch with the inside cradle, and then it was 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch retains and is still your SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, because of this, you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna go live on TV and then do the fucking title swap. Dead. dead. Even the finish too, when it was Charlotte against Bianca Belair, on Raw, I'm pretty sure it was going to be Bianca winning the title and stay at Raw, and then Sasha Banks takes the title from Becky Lynch and keep it on SmackDown. That wasn't the case. It was a weird disqualification from Charlotte, and then Bianca retained. So Becky retained her title. So it was a bit of a weird one. Not sure if I agreed with that. I don't agree with the I was hoping for Bianca to keep the title on Raw, but yeah, it looks like they're gonna do the belt swapsies. But it doesn't take away with the fact that the match was great. So definitely the highlights of the match, of the night, I should say. So yeah, definitely this and the Hell in a Cell match were 2 of my favorite matches on the card. And then the main event, and it was Roman Reigns alongside Paul Heyman against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. And boy, this had so many stakes. There was talks online about Roman's gonna get squashed. Lashley might get involved because he paid him off, or he paid him off in the Hurt Business, setting up Lesnar against Lashley maybe down the line. But yeah, it was great. Eventually, it was Lesnar was teasing and hit the German suplex move onto Roman Reigns numerous times, but eventually he got it and he hit it multiple times. And then all in all, I think that there was at one point where Roman Reigns was looking to go for the spear. Brock Lesnar was still agile as hell. He leapfrogged Reigns. He gumbucked the the turnbuckle. Then he eventually fell down, and it was kind of an awkward situation. And then Lesnar hit the F5 on Reigns, but the ref got knocked out, obviously. And then eventually, all in all, the Usos came down, double super kicked Lesnar, and then Lesnar. Sorry, another thing as well, that Heyman he had the title belt, and I was watching it with Rides, and I was just like, look, Heyman is obviously gonna get involved in this somehow. So obviously he's gonna probably throw in the title belt or a chair, but he's not going to. He's just gonna throw it in the middle because he can't decide. And sure enough, he had the title belt, and he was just like, he doesn't know who to give it to, so he just threw it in the middle. And then it was, then it was a bit of tug of war. That was it. It was a bit of tug of war. That's when the Usos came in and then super kicked Lesnar, and then it was a headshot with the title belt from Reigns to Lesnar. And then he was out for a long time, and then another ref came in and then counted it 1, 2, 3, and then that was it. Roman Reigns is still your Universal Champion. Now, I'm happy. I'm so happy that Roman Reigns is still champion. Who would have flipping thought? If you're a fan of this show and you know my thoughts of Reigns 2 years prior, I couldn't stand the guy. I absolutely couldn't stand him. So it's crazy how I've just turned around. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm so happy that he kept the title. I'm really hoping for him to keep it to at least WrestleMania. And hopefully they can get The Rock in. Hopefully, I think that's the only person that I know that is capable enough to take the title off him. It will be, it's someone that he hasn't beaten already. And another person that I would have definitely hoped to have taken the title off him would have been Big E, but obviously plans changed and he's now the WWE champion. But yeah. Other than Lesnar, I'm not ready for another Lesnar reign. I don't think we need it, especially how they've pretty much fast-tracked this storyline. This was meant to be going. This was meant to happen around Mania time, but they fast-tracked it, made Lesnar come back at SummerSlam, and yeah, now this is happening. So, yeah, I would like for Lesnar to have the title until Mania. Hopefully, maybe The Rock comes and wins the Rumble. Maybe, I don't know. And then challenge Roman Reigns for the title. Who knows? But yeah, it was a very underwhelming, undercooked finish, because Lesnar was down for quite a while. I know it's obviously a headshot with a title belt, but yeah, I mean, usually someone of Lesnar's stature usually kind of doesn't stay down that long. But so it was a bit of an underwhelming finish to the match, but it was okay. It was just about serviceable. But yeah, happy for Reigns to retain. Can't fault it. All good. And then yeah, there was this kind of awkwardness between Heyman and Reigns at the end before it was end credits. But yeah, other than that, can't fault it. Overall, on top of that, with the quality of the show, I'll give this easily a solid 8 out of 10, 110%. The best Saudi show to date. Quite a few memorable moments. Quite a few people will be talking about certain moments in the show. Especially the Hell in a Cell match. My goodness, 110%. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do on SmackDown and Raw, of course. Yeah, let's see what happens. So, very good job, WWE, on making us, pleasantly surprising us with this pay-per-view. I'm not gonna lie, I was completely going in just I was expecting to do eye roll after eye roll after eye roll, expecting Taker to show up at King of the Ring and somehow win it there. But yeah, no Taker, even though he was in the area, but he didn't show up, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, very, very good. Will they pay this off? post SmackDown and post Raw. We'll see. But overall, 8 out of 10. And that's my thoughts on WWE Crown Jewel 2021. And also, just to wrap it up as well, regarding Crown Jewel and the pay-per-view, there are plans for it to return on our screens at least early 2022. That is according to PW Insider's Mike Johnson. So that is the word that is going around backstage after the show, that they're looking to come back at least early 2022. So I know obviously they couldn't obviously showcase it last year due to the pandemic and obviously restrictions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, WWE's last Saudi show was Super Showdown 2020 that happened in February, just before the pandemic fully went into full flow. So yeah, that they missed one pay-per-view last year, so they're gonna come back at least at early 2022 and then continue from there. Obviously we all know about our thoughts about the reasons why WWE obviously go back there, but it's very lucrative. The Saudi government say they paid WWE around $55 million for each show. That is crazy. So of course they're gonna be coming down, but that is the current date set. No confirmed date, but they're looking to come back at early 2022. So yeah, just to wrap it up as well, there was a couple stipulations that were added to certain matches, but then one of them got axed afterwards. Pretty much the first one I'm gonna go for is obviously Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Initially that was like I said, it was a no holds barred match, but that got added with the Falls Count Anywhere match on top of that. So hence why they were able to do all that craziness, because usually no holds barred, obviously anything and anything goes, but the sorry. So yeah, usually the no holds barred match, obviously anything and everything goes, but the match has to finish in the ring. But they obviously added the Falls Count Anywhere stipulation, and hence why we did that. We got that finish at the end. And then initially, during the kickoff show, it was announced that the Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns match was going to be a no DQ match. But then just before the show ended, the pre-show ended, they said they reversed that decision simply because this is what Caleb Braxton said. The kayfabe reason given was for this reversal was the plans was that neither Brock or Norm. Sorry, let me start again. So the kayfabe reason given for this reversal of plans was that neither Brock nor Roman wanted any part of that stipulation. I would kind of understand maybe Brock. Roman saying he doesn't want that was kind of weird, but yeah. So that when they said it was no DQ, that made me at first I was like, okay, so why did the ref get knocked out? But then reading further, they said they didn't want, that's the kayfabe reason. But yeah, it was originally meant to be a no DQ. They decided on that during the pay-per-view, and then during the kickoff, and then reversed it at the end of the kickoff. So crazy how it was all done. It was all changed in a matter of minutes. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That it was just, two stipulations. One got axed, one stayed put, and then yeah, that's all it. But other than that, guys, that has been my take on WWE Crown Jewel. What are your thoughts on the pay-per-view? Was it solid? Was it to your expectations? Was it below your expectations? And what do you think? What is gonna also come out after that? What's the fallout of this matches as well? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe as always to the channel. Also, be sure to follow us at official_TITTT on Instagram, and also be sure to check out WrestlingRepublic.com for all the breaking news, debates, opinions, controversies, all that kind of stuff. You know where to find that stuff. WrestlingRepublic.com. Other than that, I have been your host, Chaos. This has been Take It to the Table. I'm gonna get me a haircut. Until next time, guys. Peace.